All right. Well, welcome everyone. We're going to go through some pretty cool stuff today. Mostly this is going to be kind of hands-on. We do have a little bit of a presentation here that we're going to take you through, but it's not very much, because what we want to do is we want to take you through our 2016 checklist that we've gone through, and we've revamped this whole thing, and in the next couple of days we're going to make this available to everybody so that you can start applying this to your own campaigns and tweaking it for your own use. So
just on that subject too, Chris, just quickly, remember we've got a whole bunch of people on here too who are not members and that. Just keeping that in mind again as well. This is we'd normally do a members training call on that sort of thing, but this is too important just to make it members only. So I've sent out the email to a lot of different folks to say if you're interested in ranking on Google's 3-pack and the local, you need to come and check this out. So we've got a checklist. So Chris will explain it and you'll see what I mean anyway, but you can take some of these things and you can just apply them yourself, or you could use the checklist that's pre-built and things like that. So anyway, we'll explain it, but just I wanted to point that out.
All right, excellent. So while I'm talking here, I'm going to click around a little bit, and I want to provide a link for you guys in just a little bit to make sure that you guys can have a copy of the updated poster as well. So I'll make sure that we have that. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll grab that for you in just a second. But what I want to do is maybe I can start from the very beginning. So basically, about once or twice a year, we do a major overhaul on the checklist. And what we do is we go back and we look to see what's working and what has stopped, becoming effective as far as the actual work that we do. Because, we can't change it on a real regular basis. Although we do, we make minor changes and things like that as Google changes and updates come around, and it changes from a 7-pack to a 3-pack, and all the different things that kind of happen throughout the year. But once or twice a year we do a major revision, and this is the case. Kevin, who is the manager over all of our production. We've sat down and we've spent hours and hours going through this and making sure that everything's kind of lined up and working properly. And we've kind of made some decisions, and we've gotten rid of some stuff, and then we still do other things that you're going to see that they're going to be familiar, that are absolutely working for the 7-pack, or now we call it's the 3-pack now that we call the snack pack, right? And so it's harder than ever because in the snack pack, in fact, let's just kind of go here and look and see what we're talking about. We'll just type in Phoenix Dentist, and when I'm talking about the snack pack, there is of course, the pay-per-click that happens right here, and then this is what we're talking about right here. And so what Google has done recently is they've kind of they've kind of run the gamut. So when they first came through here, they basically wiped everything out, and you couldn't even see an address or a phone number in here, so it was completely useless for about a month and a half. You remember that? And then since they've kind of gotten their head back in the game and realized, well, the reason people look at this stuff is to get a quick address and a phone number so they can get there, right? So they're smart enough where they were able to put in the address and the phone number again, and so that you can actually have it be usable. Because for a while it was like nonsense for a while. And then you have this more places here where when you click on that, you can see all the different listings that come through here. They go all the way down. So it's not just 10. It's like I think there's like 20 listings that go all the way down when you click that. So that's helpful right there. But for all intents and purposes, you're only seeing 3 here. So it's more important than ever to have your head in the game to be able to put your clients in the 3-pack right here. And so basically, there's a couple of things to pay attention to. Now, right here for the 3-pack, it's important to remember that it's hard to displace the 3-pack because just by nature, everybody's going to click on whoever's there, and so they automatically become very difficult to displace. But that doesn't mean you can't displace. That just means that it's a little bit more difficult, and you have to do a little bit more work. And so once you get in there, then automatically you become the person that's hard to displace because you're getting the traffic. Because traffic and behavior is one thing that we're going to talk about today, which is Google's indication on how popular you are. And make no mistake about it, it's still a popularity contest. You are the homecoming queen, and you're trying to become, be voted on by everybody. And a vote basically is by them clicking on your site and searching for you, right? All right, so that being said, this is still by far the best source of traffic that's available on the internet. It's better than pay-per-click. It's better than RTB. It's better than Facebook. It's better than everything because once you're up here, it works for you 24/7, and you don't have to keep paying, although there's maintenance fees and things like that to kind of maintain your listings right here. For the most part, once you get there, you're pretty good to go, and your costs go way down based on how many clicks you get and the quality of the clicks that you get in the local marketing. So this is still definitely one of the most major focuses outside of paid search that everyone should have a component of in their campaigns. This is still a #1 focus for the client. So let's talk today about, let's see right here, about the checklist real quick. Let's go back over here. Now, this is the brand new 2016 checklist. And so let's go over here just for you folks who are brand new in the system. The way that we do our work is on kind of a it's a glorified checklist is what it is, because one thing that we learned early on is that pretty much any of us can get things done if we have kind of a system and an order to get them done, and we have a way that we can keep track of what's done and what's not and where we are in the progress. And so you can see right here, this is where we should be with this particular project, which is Bob's test project right here. And so we know that right here we should be on week 4 right here, and we should be done with all these items in here. Here's Joe Troyer, if you guys know who that is. He looks kind of like a gangster here, but he's like a wicked smart marketer. And we were playing around with this right here so we could get some videos in here. This is an illustration of how you can get your own videos in here to describe what's going on right here. So we'll go over that in a second. But basically everything that we do is based on the checklist. And basically that's what we have updated. All right, so let's jump into the actual checklist itself, and let's start going through it. We'll just use the checklist itself to talk about what we do and why we do it, and basically what our position is in 2016 as far as how we're going to do things. And so basically our onboarding phone call consists of basically, this is the first step in the process, by the way, is asking if the intake form has been completed. So if you have not gotten the intake form information yet, you should not be having a customer phone call because you're missing out on a lot of the details that you need to discuss with your client. Like, is this really the address? Is this proper? Because at this point, you need to verify with them on the phone that this information is absolutely correct, because you're going to go off and sign up for hundreds of accounts with the name, address, and phone number, which we call the NAP. And if you're going off with all this, you're going to have to go back and redo that if something is off. If there's a swapped character in the phone, if the address isn't right, things like that. So these are the types of things that you're going to want to make sure before you ever get on the phone in case there's any questions. And so here's the primary contact information. This is just like, how do we get a hold of you? Who do we work with in your company? Who's the primary person that we're going to identify with and work with on a daily basis? And who are the other people that you want to bring in on a monthly basis? That may be a secondary contact, that kind of a thing. And so that's really important to be able to do that. Let me bring this over here. And so other things that we talk about is, do you have a tracking number? Because tracking numbers, this is an age-old discussion as far as, does Google just, do they hate tracking numbers? Should this be the company number? All that kind of stuff. Now is the time when you're first starting to decide, do we want to implement a tracking number now? Because later on when you have hundreds of citations, that's the wrong time to do it, because that means you have to go back and change 100 different business listings to match up with a new phone number. So early on in the game is when you need to decide if you want this tracking number, and that's a really crucial step as you first start out. And if you think that the phone numbers, if they matter or not, if you have any question, I can tell you they absolutely matter, and they matter so much because it's one of the 3 top things that Google is going to allow you to rank on or not. And so basically, you want to address that early on. Email address, phone number, who's doing linking for you? What is you need to determine what's been done on the project, because if you're walking into a hot mess where there's been a lot of linking and a lot of things that have happened that's going to make it so that you can't be successful, if you don't know that, you're doomed from the very beginning. So these are all things that are very important for you to understand. If I'm going to rank, I need to know what I'm walking into, and if I need to absolutely start over in some cases because it's been destroyed by some other company. And so the first part of ranking is understanding where do you start, basically. Let me get rid of these notifications here real quick. Sorry about that. And so basically, this is basically getting off on the right foot. You know, what are some of the keyword recommendations? Find out what their keywords are that they want to shoot for. Sometimes they know what they are, sometimes they don't, and you're going to need to mostly, you know, tell them what their best keywords are. Who's your competition? Do they even know who that is? Most of the time, they know who their competition is. And are there any websites or any other types of things that they've created already? And then here's a chance right here. Let's set up our next call. And so it's a good chance at the end of the phone call to say, okay, let's meet again in, say, 2 weeks. So in the first month, we meet. We have this initial phone call. Then we meet in 2 weeks, and then we meet at the end of the month to go over the project. And then we just meet monthly after that. So on the month-end phone call, we say, okay, now that you kind of see what's going on, we've done a lot of work this month, we're going to reach out next month. And then you set up the time and the date from there so they know what to expect. So basically right here is a process where the communications is the third tab that's on here. Let me show you real quick, the third tab. So here's the communications tab right here. And this is basically just everything that we use to communicate with them on down the road. So on day one, this is the first communication, which is the initial follow-up call email. So this is basically your first email that is going out to the customer saying, hey, you know, we just had this phone call. It was great to visit with you, blah, blah, blah. You put the notes in here. We're excited to work together with you on this project. Thanks. And then Kevin Elsie, who is the project manager. So this is all pre-filled out for you. Everything's all ready to go. All you have to do is click this little icon to send it out, and you're good to go. So they've been communicated with. And then, so here is the local marketing employee list right here. And then here's the local marketing project manager list. Then if you want to see all the items, you just put them all together. And so as you go down, for those of you who haven't seen the system, you can see that local marketing, you see this color right here? The left bar right here indicates which type of project or which type of item this is. And by the way, you guys aren't going to see Joe Troyer up here. You're going to see like a little button that talks about, it has the, you're going to see one of these little icons right here for the video there that talks about your onboarding phone call. Now this is an employee right here, and this is a communication. You see how they're different colors? So you can kind of understand, you know, what type of item this is as you go through and do some of the work. You see how it changes as we go down? All right. So let's go through here real quick and talk about what we do next. So we communicate right here. So you're going to see a lot of the things in here is we try to communicate a lot, because one of the biggest things that you're going to be able to do to keep your client is, whether you rank or not, is if you communicate well with them. And if you're picking up the phone and talking to them on a regular basis, that means you're not selling, and you're not getting enough work done for them. So you need to stay off the phone, and you need to be doing one-way communications, and we kind of help you with that. So the first thing is the keyword research. I'm not going to go into this too much. I think that it's pretty self-explanatory if you watch this video right here. In about 10 minutes, you should be able to have all the best keywords for this company for their area. If it's taking you longer than 10, maybe 15 minutes at the most, you're doing something wrong. So watch this video. We walk you through it. We have some really cool keyword research tools that are built into the system that help you jam through this and get the top 12 keywords. This Bob test project, I think we just put in some dentistry keywords right here as we're goofing around. Now, as soon as we get done with the keywords, then we send out another email right here that basically says, hey, Bob, which is, you know, Bob's test project. This is the first name of the customer. We've created 12 specific keywords for your project, and we've done the research to ensure that these keywords are the most likely to be typed in by your search engine into the search engine to find your services that your business offers. Here they are, and so it says insert keywords here, right? So you see this button right here where it says see all the keywords? Well, this is where you do this. So you just copy this, you close that, and you paste them in here, right? All right. So now that we have all the keywords in here, we can send off this email to Bob, and we can let them know that these are the keywords that we kind of are focusing on. This gives you another chance to reach out to the customer and say, we're doing stuff for you, and here's something that we kind of want you to look at. So if there's something in here, like for instance, if it's a dentist and they don't do sedation dentistry, at the beginning is a good time to know that. Wouldn't you agree? All right, so this is basically a good time to go through that. All right.
A couple of quick questions, Chris, I thought we'd just tackle in between. So one, just hang on. So yeah, Rob is asking, when starting a new client project, isn't it best to just start fresh instead of trying to pick up where the current or previous manager has left off?
That depends, and that's going to be a decision that you're going to need to make early on, which is the project, is just some of the things done, and are they done, moderately okay, that you could just go in and you can fix up or you can modify a little bit, or is it completely destroyed? Is there a smattering of their company all around? A lot of the time, the most important thing you can do is clean up the mess, and unfortunately, it's grabbing a good broom and a mop is the best thing that you can do for their company to get them back on track. And it does take a lot of time, but it's just something that really needs to be done. It's the right thing to do. And if you don't have all these things lined up, you will never rank in the 3-pack because Google will see you as disorganized. It won't understand where you're playing in the market. It won't understand that you're an authority in the market if you have different name, address, and phone numbers spread all over the internet. So you have to absolutely line those things up. You're going to hear me talk over and over and over about the name, address, and phone number in addition to everything, because that primarily is going to determine if you're going to be successful or not. Probably pretty much above most everything else, because if you can't get consistent across the web so that Google can recognize who you are, whether they're on Yelp or whether they're on YP.com or CitySearch or any of those places, if Google can't tell that's you, you don't get credit for it. So you don't get the benefit of those business listings if it can't tell it's you. If there's any discrepancy at all in the phone number, in the address, if your address isn't exactly the same all over the place, Google's naturally, well, Google and all the search engines are going to think that may be somebody else, and it's going to put a big question mark in their algorithm that says, we don't know if this is them or not. And you absolutely don't want that to happen. So if you want to rank, you need to be able to do that. There's a good question right here. Is manual submission for listing management the best, or is using a service like Yext? Now, we use a combination between the two, and this is actually a really good question for ranking because the first thing that we do is UBL. And we do that very early in the game because that gets us 80 listings that are out there working for us from day one. Now, we also do about 50 to 100 different listings by hand that we do in the first month as well, and we'll do between 300 and 500 listings by hand that we do using the, we'll talk about this in just in a few minutes, but by using our power listings, which are the absolute best citations that are available for you in that area, in that local area. That's hyper-local citations. And so those can pretty much only be done by hand. So my suggestion, and this is what we do, is that you do a combination between the two. Yext is a great service. UBL is a great service. Do not use Localease right now. Those guys are very, very disorganized and difficult to work with. You're not going to get good results with them. Don't waste your money with them right now. Hopefully that'll turn around because you can get on Siri through Localease, and so it's kind of a catch-22 on that one. Luckily, Siri opened up so you can get on through other services as well. So basically, you definitely want to give them a good online presence, starting with all the most important business listings. So let's go through here real quick. Now, in the checklist right here, you're going to see there's a phone, the city, and the state that's formatted properly. What your company is, not what it does. And the citation, so this citation right here is going to be how you present yourself. Name, address, and phone number is what a citation is. And a business listing that you're going to use all over the place. Your website address, to make sure that that is correct, whether it has www in front of it or not, is important. So when you put it out there, make sure that it's the right way. And then also the inbound links, like what are the website links that you're going to promote, and please don't tell me you're ranking the front page of your website. Because if you're trying to rank the front page of your website, you're basically starting wrong from the very beginning. Remember, Google ranks pages and not websites, right? They don't rank a website in general. They rank pages. Google does not really see a whole lot of value in the front page of a website for the most part, because people, it's usually a stopping place to get where they want to go. Am I right? And so Google sees it that way too. It's basically just like a brochure, like, okay, here's everything that's on the site. Now you go to what you want to see. So you need to be ranking inside pages to your website. So if you want to rank on the organic listings, I would stay away from your front page. You're automatically going to rank for your front page, which is pretty cool, if you do well ranking inside pages. All right, then you have an optimized email. This email right here is basically a Gmail account, so that when you sign up for all your accounts, they don't get inundated. It's just a practical thing. So let's go through here. Analytics.
Explain that quickly, Chris, just with the optimized email.
This email right here?
Yeah.
Okay, basically this email is important because if you get an email, like if you use the company email like info at, or maybe even worse, the owner's email to sign up for all the accounts, they're going to get barraged with ads and other companies out there that you sign up on business directories basically promoting their services, and there's a chance that they may get distracted by shiny objects because some of their salesmen, I'll tell you, are really good. They are really good salesmen. Now, the service behind it is usually pretty awful, but they don't know that until it's too late and they've spent a lot of money with them and things like that. You want them to stay with you. So as a self-preservation mechanism, please use a Gmail account that you create, that you control, to sign up for all their business accounts. Now, you don't put this on the business listings, of course. You put info at or support at, the company name.com on the business listing itself, but you sign up with a different account, okay?
So we're not optimizing the email with a keyword at Gmail so much anymore? Yeah?
Yeah, we do. Okay. We either do a keyword or we do, because this is the same account that we're typically going to put the YouTube account on. And so we definitely want the keywords in there or the company name. Mm-hmm. So typically we'll do a combination between the two. Like we'll do Arizona Family Dentistry, and we'll put dentist is part of dentistry in there. Or we'll do, if it's like Smiles is like the name of the dentist, we'll do Smiles Dentistry, that kind of a thing. So we'll try to put the keyword and the company name in there. Okay. Good question, though. And then we set up the Google Analytics, the Google Places. Here's the Yahoo, Bing, and Google that we set up right at the beginning. And so we set up all of those accounts. And basically, if you jump in the system, we're going to show you how you never have to deal with postcards. Like, I don't know how long it's been since we've had to deal with a postcard. Maybe 2 years that we've had to deal with postcards. So if you guys are dealing with postcards, you're doing something wrong, because you can call Google and get everything approved over the phone. And we'll sit there and we'll get 10 and 12 accounts on the same phone call approved all at the same time and fixed up and all that kind of stuff. So they don't mind if you're an agency calling them. So if you're not calling Google, you're basically wasting a lot of time. Because your customers are going to throw those postcards away thinking it's an ad or advertisement. All right, so let's jump over here. Create 5 videos. That's the first part that we do for the video creation. There's lots of ways that you can create videos, but we basically encourage you to create videos in any way that you can. I'm not going to get into how we do it right now. That's not important. The fact that you are creating videos means that you're going to be able to put them on Facebook. You're going to be able to put them on all of your business listings, or not all of them, but a lot of them you can include include videos. And the videos indicate that there is something that's rich and entertaining that they can offer the people who are visiting. And Google and all the search engines value videos and images very highly. Rich content is something that is highly valued. It's going to help you rank, and you're going to see a lot of these things I'm going to talk about. There's really only a couple of silver bullets through this process. All the rest is just lots of little things that all add up. And basically it's just you build basically a big mountain of things that you do. And when everything is done, then everything all together all add value in different ways. All right, so you need to geocode all of your images. We tell you how to do that. And
just quickly,
so basically... Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, Chris. I just thought we'd just grab a couple of, while we're on that previous sort of topic with calling Google. So Chris was just asking, how do you know who to call at Google? So there's a couple of questions on there.
Yeah, that's a great question, but we're not going to go over that right now because it's off topic. But,
okay.
if you guys jump in here, I'll tell you where to find it. How about that?
Yeah, and I was just going to
jump in the system.
Yeah, I was just going to follow up with Steve's one too. Google told me that they would not verify anymore over the phone weeks ago.
Well, we've been doing it up until yesterday.
Yeah. So
I don't know. We're doing it every day. How to call Google Reps, right here. So it's right here under reseller and additional resources right there. Okay. All right. So as far as the marketing checklist, the last thing we do is we submit it to the Google Map Maker, and we also submit it to the Apple, Macintosh's Map Maker as well. So here's adding it to the Google Map Maker right here. Here's the instructions on how to do that. So it's not enough just to do the Google+. You have to go in here and add it to the Map Maker as well so that you can get on the maps properly and you can verify your listing. All right, so here's the YouTube videos right here. So once we build the videos, which we did in the last one, then you need to put it up on YouTube because basically this is one of the best, what we call, I just drew a blank, parasites out there that we use. And a parasite is basically a very high authority site that we can put our content on and be able to glean authority from the site just because it's so good. Facebook is this way, YouTube is this way, Yelp is this way. That's how we rank a lot of our stuff, is that it automatically comes with authority. And so this is why we post it on YouTube. We also put them on Vimeo as well. And so here's another email. You can see after everything major we do, we have another email or a text message to follow it up so that we can communicate with our client every step of the way so they can see that we're doing stuff. Here's Flickr and Panoramio. Watch these videos right here because putting videos up on Flickr and Panoramio, Panoramio is owned by Google, and you can get one-way links from Panoramio to your Google Plus page and to your website. And if you don't think that that's powerful, I mean, what's better than a one-way link from a Google property to your website that's keyword rich? So it's a keyword link to your property. Flickr is also very good when you get the images out there. We instruct you on how to name the images properly with your keywords because behind the scenes, they see what the names of those images are, and it comes up in different search listings that you can't see. So we talked to you about how to get all those images in place. Here's Facebook and Twitter and Yelp and Foursquare, Manta, Dexnos, Insider Pages, Super Pages, Merchant Circle, Yellow Pages, City Search, Kazoo, Local, Yellowbot, and create an Apple ID right here. See this mapsconnect.apple.com? This is something that's kind of new that we added in here that you guys need to be doing. So all of these up here, some of these are turning to paid searches, and so you need to make a decision whether it's UBL or whether it's Yext or whether it's any of these paid searches, is if your client has the funds to be able to do this. And this is something that you can approach them with and say, look, we recommend that you do this, but you don't have to. And so you just tell them what the cost is, and you kind of make a determination what to promote. Like, for instance, UBL, they have like an essential, a premium, and a professional package. And you basically want to give them as much as they can afford because it's more than just fluff when you're doing this stuff. You literally get what you pay for on that. And so you just have to make some decisions on where you think that their money is best spent. And also, so basically right here, this is how you ping your citations. So basically you go and you sign up for all these right here, but Google doesn't know they exist. What are you going to wait for 2 or 10 months before Google stumbles across it and says, oh, they're on Kazoo? No. What you do is you go over here to masspinger.com and you tell Google and the other search engines that there are citations out there that they need to put into their search engine. And so as you use this Masspinger out here, you can go out there and quickly tell Google. That's a good way to help you rank quickly in both organic and in the maps listings. Okay, so here's a 2-week project update. We're gonna blow past that because communications and stuff are great, but it's that's not necessarily what helps you rank. Okay, so on-page optimization for your 5 keywords. Now this can be daunting for a lot of people unless you know how to click on this little button right here, which will come up here and it'll tell you all the on-page optimization that you need to do with illustrations and examples, and it basically fills out everything that you need to do on the website based on your keywords. So we automatically populate this, and this is literally something that you can come up here, and I wrote this page in a way where you can literally copy all of this right here, because sometimes you might be doing this, and other times you may be sending this to your web guy, right? So if you're sending this to your web guy, you can literally just copy that right there, and I'm going to start another email, and basically you can just paste it right into your email. You see this? How cool is that, right? So now all you have to do is pop this email off to your web guy, and guess what? Your website optimization is done. So there's a lot of things in here with your website optimization that is super critical to get done right, or you will not rank in organically or in the Maps listings. Now, one thing that you guys need to, we talk about this in our webinars and stuff like that, but one thing that you guys really need to understand when you rank a brand new Google Plus listing, and this is super critical, when you rank a Google Plus listing, Google looks at the website for its keywords and for its content. Now let me back up a little bit. Google looks at the website for the keywords and the content, not at its own Google Plus yet. So when you first go out there and you take a look, or when you first set up your Google Plus account, if you don't have your website optimized properly, or even if it's not halfway done, then you're doing yourself a disservice. And so you have to make sure that this is done pretty early in the game, because this is where Google's going to glean the information, because it knows nothing about you yet. So if you think logically, where does Google get all this information? Well, it's going to go to the source first, which is your website. So they're going to kind of lean on that website, because that's part of your Google Plus listing. And it's going to say, okay, what's this guy all about? And they're going to go and they're going to pull that information in. And then the second thing is that they're going to pull the keywords from your first set of testimonials that hit the Google Plus page. So it's really important that you pad those first couple of testimonials with people that they know, people that they know, like, and trust, that they know that they're going to give them a good testimonial, and you kind of lead them along a little bit. So the first couple of testimonials have that they're keyword rich and that they're written by normal people. I would not go out and say, hey, can you please copy and paste this as your testimonial? I really wouldn't do that. But what I would do is I would say, can you please talk about X, Y, and Z? And it could be service, it could be friendliness of the staff, it could be how your kids like going there. Whatever it happens to be that you want to put in there. Sedation dentistry, if you want that keyword in there, you can say, can you please talk about that you like that they do sedation dentistry? So you can pad those kinds of keywords that are in the testimonials and reviews that go on Google+, and those are super critical. So if you don't have a good reputation marketing plan, you're not going to rank. I mean, that alone is not a silver bullet. A lot of people say, oh, the more reviews, the higher you're going to rank. No, not necessarily. But it is a ranking factor, as all of these things are. So make sure you have a really strong reputation marketing platform and process in place, because that will definitely help you rank. All right, so let's go on from here. Let's see here. On-page optimization. Okay, the HCard and the KML files right here, these are still important. This is something that we kind of scratched our head a little bit and said, are we still going to do this anymore? And we still are, because the HCard is basically the markup schema, and there's a creator right here that you can jump over to. If you click on this, we actually take you to an outside page now, where you can come in here and you can put in the information for the company, and it'll create the HCard schema right here, and this will keep it up to date, because this is basically schema.org. It's based off of schema.org. So make sure you get that HCard in here, which is basically just everything about your company that is delivered in schema. And then also this KML file. We have this KML file creator. We still use that, and it works great. And there's nothing that tells Google that you're a local business like a KML file that's located on the root of the website. And if you click on the Create KML file, there's instructions on exactly what to do right here. And it's super easy to create. Let me show you how this works. You come over here and you make sure that all this is right, and you click Create KML file. Oh, except for this is the wrong address. Let me put in a real address right here. No, I'm not even going to do that. But it checks to make sure that the address is legit. Once you do that, it just downloads the file and you're done. That's it. And so this is the instructions right here on how to do it properly. So it's really easy to do, and every one of these things make a little difference until it makes all the difference and you start ranking. let's see here. There's a voicemail that we send off for communication. And let's see here, month 1, project update. So this is all communication stuff. And then let's go through here. Pinging the citations again after they're created in UBL is important in day 3 of week 7. Another ranking report overview right here, so some more communication. And let's see here. Press release number 1. Okay, now here's the beginning of what we would consider your linking. So, in 2016, we reintroduced the linking component to local marketing. We didn't do linking for a little while because we do UXO, user experience optimization, which we still do heavily. But basically, this is the beginning of our linking. We're doing buffered and tiered linking again. And so basically, we start out with a press release. A lot of these companies have never had a press release done for them before, so that's pretty cool. That you can do something that basically really brings them to the limelight. It gets them into news organizations that are local and national, and then at that point you can see or you can put on their website as seen on Fox, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, all the different places on the websites where they show up, so that you can start putting that on their websites if that's important to them and you think that would be helpful. So that's kind of interesting that you can do just by sending out one press release. Okay, so maybe what we could do is we can talk about what power listings are first, because I think that it's important to kind of understand what we're looking at. Okay, good. So we have kind of a good list right here that we can look at. Let's see here. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what power listings are. Now, let me back up just a second. So if you come under here under Manage and then Power Listings, and you see this little click here for details on power listings, this will tell you everything you've ever wanted to know and more about power listings, exactly how we do them. So basically with power listings is what we do is we go out and even though there's only a 3-pack, we take the top 7 listings, and what we do is we analyze all of their local directories that they've used to get up on top. So obviously the ones on top are doing something right? And this follows the age-old tactic and strategy of asking Google what it thinks is most important. And so what we're doing right here is we're asking Google, why did you put these guys on top? Why did you put these guys on top? Why did you put these guys on top? For all these different local listings. And specifically we're saying, what local directories did you consider most important to allow them to be on top? And so at that point, what we do is we go through there, and then we make a long list of those, and then we give you that list, basically. Now, the way that we do that is we actually go out there and we do a search that looks just like this. I tell you exactly how we do it. This is not something that is a black box. It's not something that we're like secretly doing behind the scenes, but it's something that takes a lot of time. It used to take us about 30 to 40 minutes to run this process and find out what all the best listings are. And you guys can double check us on what we're doing here as far as the processes to search and find those. And so basically what we do is we go through on every one of these and we do a site right here to find out what the best directory listings are. And then what we do is we put them all together and we get rid of all the duplicates, and then we have what's left over is the list of all of the different directories that these guys all have used to get to the top in one list for you. And then basically with that list, then what you want to do after that point is go out and sign up for each of those directories. So what happens at the end of the day is that your company has all of the different local directories that put these guys on top, and then all of a sudden these guys only have a subset of them. Like this may only have like 3 out of the 20. This may only have like 4 out of the 20. This one may have like 7 out of the 20. This one may have 1 out of the 20. But each of these have a portion of it. But what you've done is you've gone out there and positioned yourself so that you have all of them that these guys have, and it gives you an unfair advantage basically over all these guys, and it's meant to propel you above these guys by having better local directories, which we know is one of the major ranking factors in the now 3-pack. All right, so Basically, there's a question out there that says, we are a Yext reseller, how is this better? Well, Yext is different because Yext has like a predefined set of directories, and they're not necessarily local. Some of them are local directories, and some of them are national directories. Yext is a great service. We use it as well. They're great, but it's not this. This is basically going out there and asking Google what directories. It could be an article on a news station. It could be something that's out there that is like a little piece of news or something that's local in that area, and you need to be in there too. So whatever it takes, you need to get in there. Create a news story. Create a news organization. I mean, a reason to get in there news. If you can't, that's okay too. It's just a best effort kind of thing, but you get the whole list regardless. So let's go back to the listings main page and let's take a look and see what a list of the power listings are going to look like, for instance. Now, when you see a list of the power listings right here, there's two things that you're going to notice. You see this button right here where it says import this to your citations. What you can do is click on that button, and what it'll do is it'll take the top right here. So we have this in a couple of different keywords, water softener, RO water filters. You can see that this is a water filter site right here. And then, so what we've done is we've gotten those two keywords, and we found basically the top 60 places to get directories out of there. And then right here, we've gotten the top 76 out of here. And so basically what you can do at this point is you can minimize this by clicking this this green bar right here. But then what you can do is click right here, and it's going to go right into your Manage All Accounts area where you can manage all these accounts. So you can sign up for these one by one and be able to have those to be able to show your clients what you've done. It goes into the system. It goes into reports. It just blends into everything that we do. This is seriously one of the most powerful things that you can do for your client, bar none. Now, it does take a little bit of effort because you got to sign up for potentially 61 different places right here. Now, this Home Depot you may not be able to get into. We actually sell our products on Home Depot. This is my site, by the way. This is Advanced Water Filters. That's kind of why I use this as an example, because I own it. And so we sell our stuff on Home Depot. So you may not be able to get on Home Depot, but you can sure get on Womtown or whatever that is. You can get on HotFrog. You can get on Smart Pages. You could probably get on Water Softener Guru if you wanted to get go out there and do a blog for them, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of things up here that you need to really pay attention to, because these are the things that are ranking this client right here. Let me do something real quick while let's take a quick report. A quick break here, because I want to make sure that you guys have this resource down here. So I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to give this to you. So everybody on the webinar, you guys can, let me see here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to give you a different link here. It's called the Blueprint. Okay. All right, so everybody go ahead and download this local blueprint poster. Now, let me make sure that's the right one. Yep, I think that's the right one. Let me make sure. I'll click on it too. Okay, yep, this is the right one. All right, so basically when you see this blueprint poster, let's go over this real quick. And this is what I want to give all you guys, because everything we're talking about today for ranking is on this poster. Everything that what I just went through is in detail on this poster. So this is a great takeaway that you can use as a reference. So I'm hoping that you guys can kind of use this as taking notes so that you can kind of sit back and just kind of listen, kind of absorb this, and then be able to go through this right here. So basically, let me see here. Let me go through on this one actually. So basically, what you're going to see here is all of the different. Whoops, this is kind of hard to gauge around a little bit. You're going to see all the different things that we do. So here's publish the schema and the KML file that we talked about, publishing the HCard, the KML. To build, and if they don't have a website, this is about the time when you build it right here. Create the YouTube channel, all the different things that we do right in here. And then optimize for keywords. And then there's a couple of things in here that you guys are going to need to really know about, because these are sort of the silver bullets. This is a couple of the things that we use to rank quickly and to rank efficiently, because there are certain things that you can do that you may not know that you can do, or that you can do through us, that makes all the difference in the world. And the first one is, so the local directory submissions are the number one thing. This is basically how you link for Google+. Don't bother linking to your Google Plus page, by the way. So if you do linking, make sure the linking is always to the website, because Google does not care if things link to their Google Plus page. Do not care. Don't waste your time. Make sure everything links to the website. And this user experience optimization, let me ask out there, how many people know about user experience optimization? Because I want to know how much I need to talk about this. So let me see here. Let's do a little survey. I'm gonna put all the hands down right now. On the GoToWebinar little control panel here, you're gonna see a little way that you can put your hand up. If you know what user experience optimization, UXO, is, if you've heard us talk about that before and you understand what it is, raise your hand. Okay. I'm gonna give you guys a second to do that, because I really want to see who knows what this is and what it's used for. Okay, Barry. Darth Vader is on? That's awesome.
Yep.
In fact, as soon as I'm done here, I'm running
back
down to go see the new Star Wars, so that's cool. Good to see you, Darth. Don.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on the comments too. No, nothing. Don't know anything about it.
Rob.
UXO.
Excellent. So it looks like only about 10% of you guys, maybe less, know what this is. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time here, because this is something that it's a little bit of our silver bullet. There really is no silver bullet, because everything needs to be done in combination, of course. But this, above all things, helps us rank pretty quickly. Now, let me tell you what it is first, then I'll take you through the process of how it works, and then you'll quickly understand why it works and how powerful it is. So basically, user experience optimization is a lot like linking, except in a soft way. There's really no link per se, because it's still a link to Google, as far as like, well, Google kind of marks it up as something that happened. It's behavioral linking is basically what it is. And I think the best way to explain it, Andy, is to actually just do it real quick. So let me just do this real quick. So let's go over here, and so let's just use this right here. We type in Phoenix Dentist right here. And say, for instance, we want to rank a company called Desert Dentistry. Okay, they're actually a company here in Tempe, Arizona. Let's do Tempe. Tempe Dentist. And so what we want to do is we want to rank Desert Dentistry. They're not one of our clients or anything like that. There's just I just know that they're here in Tempe. And so what we're going to do is we're going to employ between 200 and 500 people to perform this action. And what we're going to ask them to do is, one, search for Tempe Dentist and look for the company that's called Desert Dentistry. And so they come in here in their browser and they type in Tempe Dentist, and they'll scroll down here and they'll say, Desert Dentistry, I don't see them. So we instruct them, so if you don't see it on page 1, go to page 2. And if they go to page 2, I don't see Desert Dentistry on here. And then if not, go to page 3. So we have them just go to 3 pages, that's it. So they go down here and they're not on page 3 either. Okay. And if they're on any of the pages, we ask them to click on the website at that point. So now, if it's not in the top 3 pages, we have them type in Tempe Dentist, Desert Dentistry, and then hit enter. Now at that point, that should bring Desert Dentistry up to the #1 position, which it does. Then we instruct them to click on that link. So before I click on it, let me just talk a little bit about the process and what we did and what Google sees behind the scenes. So what Google just saw you do is type in a keyword and not choose any of the listings on there. So that immediately tells Google they did not find what they're looking for, and Google is hypersensitive that you find what you're looking for. If you go to page 2 or page 3, they think that they've done something wrong. So the fact that you go to page 2 is an indication to Google saying, they're looking for something and they did not find it on the front page, and that's our job, is to put what they're looking for on page 1. So immediately it puts Google on edge, right? And this is all algorithmic, right? So it's not like somebody behind the scenes getting all nervous. But their computer just basically puts a thing in there saying they didn't find what they were looking for. Then they went to page 2 and 3. They didn't find what they were looking for. So they did another search, and what we determined is they put a company name in there. And so now they're watching what you're doing. And when you come over here and you click on Desert Dentistry, then what's going to happen, super nice folks, by the way, if you go down here and Google sees that you click on this page, then what Google's looking for at this point is the time on the page. And basically, we have a special plugin that allows Google to see how much time is actually spent on the page, because otherwise it kind of guesses the best they can. Because Google can't necessarily see, unless you're using the Chrome browser, it can't see really what you're doing on the page for the most part. So basically, what Google's looking at right now for what I'm doing is they just saw that I scrolled down. If I'm in a Chrome browser, they saw that I scrolled down. They see that I'm spending time presumably reading about this. Then they're going to see, okay, now they just clicked on cosmetic dentistry, right? So now it's going to watch me scroll down the page right here. And this is what we tell our people to do. Click 2 or 3 pages randomly and scroll down and see if the page looks professional, is what we ask them to do, right? So there's a purpose behind what they're doing. They're analyzing websites, is what they think they're doing. And so they go through there and they look and they do this stuff, and then they come over here and they click on About Us. And if there is a Contact Us, then we have them click on the Contact Us. Oh, okay, so the Contact Us right here, we tell them to look for the Contact Us button. Then what we do is we have them stay there and we ask them a couple of questions on this page. And it takes about 30 seconds or so to answer the questions. We have them type it in. And then at that point we say, now what we want you to do is close out your tab or browser. So I closed out my tab. Now, I want you guys to type in on the question window, why do you think that we have them close out the tab or their browser? What's the purpose behind that? Why not just go back and do another search for us? So why do you guys think? Any ideas? To finish the search? Okay, that's a good question. I mean, that's a good answer, Steve. Any other? Let's see here. You found the result you were looking for. Excellent, Don. So Google thinks you sent an email, and I would add, or made a phone call. That's right. So they didn't hit the back button to end the task, the time on the site. So Google knows that you found what you're looking for. That's exactly right. Cookie removal. Not necessarily the cookies stay on your site. Mission accomplished, and to show Google you got your answer. All those are the right answer. You guys are awesome. That's exactly the right answer, because if you don't close out that browser, that means the session is still open, and that Google interprets that saying they still didn't find what they're looking for, so they went back to go do some more searching. So it's super important that they close out that browser. And that does end the session right there. And so that's a very clear indication that that taking it from the beginning to end is that somebody was looking for Desert Dentistry. They went and they searched a couple of different pages, couldn't find it on Google. They finally typed in the company name, clicked on the company, went to the company, ended up on the Contact Us page, and then closed out their session, presumably saying, I found what I'm looking for, I'm done. Now think about what that signal is to Google if that happens 200 times a month. Think about what that tells Google if that happens 500 times a month. So you see where I'm going on this? So this is something that can't be, that people can't usually figure out. And it's not something that's like a link out there that you can kind of manufacture. Now, we manufacture it for sure. But for the most part, this isn't something that's manufactured unless you make that go out and make that happen, right? And so, you know, of course, we crowdsource that and stuff like that. It's not a big secret on how we do it. The big secret, if there is a secret, I mean, we don't keep secrets, but it's basically how to instruct people how to do that properly so they get it done properly. You know what I mean? How to give them instructions to make it done right. And so once you do that 200 to 500 times a month, that tells Google in no uncertain terms that people are A, looking for them on a regular basis, B, that they are searching for that company and not another company, and they're not looking just for a dentist, they're looking for this dentist. And there's no other dentist out there that is being looked for more often than the person that you're marketing, all right? So that's kind of why I kind of tell you, or that I kind of indicate that this is sort of a quote, silver bullet, because this is something that really sets you apart from everybody else, because most people are not doing this. And it's something that will tell Google the behaviors behind your company and how much people are loving them. So that's something that's super important.
So a couple of quick questions, Chris, just while we're on that topic there. So what if they do find it on, say, bottom of page 1? Should they ignore it and type it in?
Good question.
That. Yeah, good question.
Yeah, so basically what you want to do is you want them to click on it, because what Google is looking at that point is they say, oh, they search for a Phoenix dentist, and everybody's clicking on this one that's on number 7. Well, if most of the people are clicking on number 7, why do we have it number 7? Why don't we have it number 1 when most of the people are clicking on it? You see what I mean? So that behavior of them searching and then clicking on it, even if they're on the bottom, is a clear indication that people want number 7. They're having to scroll down the page to find what they're looking for, which, again, Google doesn't like. They want to present what they want, or what you want above the fold. Presumably, they want you to click on their pay-per-click, right? Am I wrong?
So Ron's just asking, is the IP address important, Chris, on that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I could get into all the things that are important as far as locations, IPs, times of day, getting too many done in a certain day, not staggering them properly so that most of them are done in the first week of the month. I mean, you just don't want to do all that stuff. So you have to be very vigilant and do this every single week, and you have to do them on certain days, things like that. So if you guys want to do that, knock yourself out. But you have to do it the right way, or it'll come back and backfire on you. But there's no reason why you can't do it. I mean, just every single week you have to go out there and you have to plan it out and schedule it out for each of your clients to be able to schedule that out and make that happen. And you have to have a small number of people that does it each week.
Yeah, there's a few people asking too that like, how can I get a whole bunch of workers like that to do it? Well, one way is like we have a done-for-you service. So we offer the same service that we do for our clients, that we offer that to members as well. So basically everything that we do, exactly like Chris is explaining it, we'll do it exactly the same for your clients as well. So there's that option too. So you can just throw it over the fence and just say, hey, you do all that. Sounds like a lot of clicking and all that sort of busy work. Just get it done for us, so we can do that.
So yeah, we can do that for you. We like to do all of your work for you, of course, as a done-for-you service, so you just can throw it over the fence. We'll just get it all done. And this is, of course, part of it, what we do. We also do social media, and we do, all the linking. We do the press releases. We do the, all the Google Plus listings and optimization, all that stuff as well. But if you want just that, we can do that for you. Not a problem.
So when you see it
we
like
love
that,
to do it because we know you'll get it done right if you do it through us. And it's not that expensive to do.
I mean, for most people, I mean, some people are very, task-orientated, look at that and go, yeah, I'll try and work out a way to do it. But like someone like me, I look at that and just go, oh, instant headache. I couldn't even begin to imagine trying to get all those little bits of things done. It would never get done properly, so that's why you just say, here, you guys do it sort of thing. I'll just get on with sales and marketing and things like that, which you enjoy, There's just too many things. I mean, there's a lot of things that you could take there and say, look, I can grab that little bit, and employ that, and I'm not doing this, and I can start doing that. But at the end of the day, when you see how many little things there are to do, it's an enormous task. We've been doing this for so long, and it's taken a long time to get the whole process in order, hasn't it, Chris? I mean, as far as getting all of these little things in order so they're all done at the right time, even down to, like you say, with the with doing the user experience thing, there's so many elements to that. It's not just someone going in and doing those things that you said. It's timing, it's number, it's a whole lot of things which are really important too.
Yep. So we got some questions on here that are actually really good questions, which is, okay, how much does it cost? Isn't it important to have people do it that are in the local area? Do we have 200 people do it in your local area? And the answer is we have as many people in the local area that we do it as possible. And everything is done in the United States, by the way. This isn't like you send it over to China and there's a bunch of Chinese clicking on it. That's not how it works. I mean, we're a little bit more sophisticated than that. But this guy right here, Ivan Budimir, how many of you guys know Ivan? I'm going to put all the hands down. You guys know Ivan? He's the guy who's behind PR Newswire, or the does all the press releases and stuff like that. So basically, he's in my mastermind group. He's a wicked smart SEO guy, and he and I kind of worked out all the different things between the navigational searches. So the reason I show you this slide is because somebody says, well, what do you call that service? This is what we call navigational searches. So when you talk to us and you say, hey, can you do navigational searches? That's what we call it. We call it navigational searches. And it's basically, it came from a Google patent. Google basically told us this is what they do. That's why we do it. We didn't just make this up. We didn't just like guess. We're not just going, seems like a good idea. No, we reverse engineered Google's algorithm, and Google's had a big red, in our minds it was like a big red box in the middle that basically said, linking is important, these things are important, but this is just as important as linking, is what they called navigational searches. And so we basically dug in and said, what does a navigational search mean? And basically, Google categorizes every single search on their search engine into 3 different types of searches. One is informational, just searching for stuff. Navigational means you're trying to get somewhere, which is very important. And the third one is transactional, you're trying to buy something. That's the purpose behind every search that we do. So when you're doing navigational, trying to get somewhere, Google sees that as something very specific and very, very deliberate. And they try to be really good at that. And so basically that's why we do that. And you can see right here that, if you're really link heavy, you do a lot of linking to the website, and you don't have any navigational searches. Some are going to happen just by nature, right? Some people are going to be looking for you. But if you're really light on this, then you're unbalanced. And if you're not linking and you have lots of navigational searches, then you're unbalanced. So this is really what you're going to want to have, is a balanced linking and navigational process to be able to rank quickly and to rank effectively. And this is what the algorithms say. This isn't something that we're just saying, oh, it makes sense to do this. This is what the numbers say in Google's patent. If you guys are interested in reading the patent, if you can't sleep one night, I've got a link to it so you can read it. It's really boring. But this is the big finding that we took away from this, is that there's this thing out there called navigational searches that we've been ignoring the whole time. Now, the cost on something like this is somewhere between, if you just want just navigational searches done, we can do those. It's somewhere between 60 and 120 bucks, something like that, just depending on how much you want to do for the month. It's included automatically with our $495 and with our $297 package. So we do this with everything we do because it's just the right thing to do. Let's see here. So we are getting towards the end of our presentation here. So I want to make sure that we respect your time, but we've gone over the major things that allow ranking that we're going to be focusing on. The things that we didn't talk about that you're just going to kind of know is that social media is important. So, and I don't really need to get into that. You guys all know that social media is important. Google values it. They know that keeping up on your social media is something that's important. We also know that that basically updated content on your website and things like that is important. And so content creation on a regular basis is something that would be important as well. So all those things in combination, so maybe I can just kind of wrap this up to say there's a lot of work that needs to be done to achieve that coveted snack pack position. Now the thing about it is that you can achieve that thing. Let me show you. Let's do. So basically when you get done, you're going to want to have a listing that's going to look something like this right here. You see how when I type in exotic car rental Beverly Hills, you're going to want your customer to be right here or in the 3-pack. I don't know why it's not showing a 3-pack. That's pretty weird. But you're going to want to have them to be at the top of the search engines. In the organic listings, you're going to want to have them in the local listings right here. This is a nice little card right here. It's pretty cool. This is us right here. This is us right here. These are the same company. We are listed, I think, 3 or 4 times on this page right here. And so you're going to want to be as many different places and in many different processes on the page that you can, whether it's a link, whether it's a press release, whether it's a business listing, whether it's their website listing, things like that. You're going to definitely want to have those listings, as many as you can on the page for your keywords. And so to be able to win at this game, you got to do it all. There's nothing out there that you can say, oh, I just did this one thing and it ranked. Everything's important, and it's important to balance it out and to make sure that you're covering all your bases, and at the end of the day, making sure that Google sees you as the homecoming queen. So that's our quest is in 2016 is to become the homecoming queen, right? So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Is there any last questions, Andy, that people were asking
Yeah,
that
sure.
we might be able to do? So basically, this is the end of the webinar. I know you guys, some of you guys have to jet. You were saying, hey, I got to jump. Thanks for being with us today. We appreciate you being with us. I hope you guys were able to kind of learn a couple of things and to glean what we're doing in 2016, what we think is most important. Not to say that we won't make adjustments and changes along the way, but as we start out, this is our direction for next year.